Alright, so this is going to be game 2 of round 1 of the fall 2017 Star Battle X tournament. I am continuing to be joined by Merlin.
Merlin it is.
Yes. Oh, hey, and Hefo kind of popped in.
Hey, are you guys right in the middle of the game?
Yeah, we're actually just starting, but I do have questions for you if you can just hold on a minute.
Just ask me after this game. Send me a message.
Okay. So in the bottom left, we do have Jimber on Overlord, going Plague, of course. Bloodhound going Charge Opening. Cris on Colossus going 3-2 with 0.6 wind speed. DarkUncle with Feedback, Open on Arbiter. KENNETH going Range Rocket, as one does. Dreamer going... Huh. Okay.
Wow.
1 shield, 1 rocket, and 2 wraiths. What do we have from the blue team?
Okay, let's go. Critter has got Plague as the Ovi. JJBeast has got Charges again. DeVIlla's BC, he's got range. It's the same. It's the same thing as last game. Firstruggle has got Charges in the middle. Oh, Graveyard's changed. That's the only change. Graveyard's got Plague on the side. He was Frigate last game.
That's one thing you can think of sometimes, right? You know, can you go double OV, get even more plagues, and really try to soften up the tanks, right? If you're expecting lots of tanks, and we do have an Arbiter, right? So there's changes from both teams.
Yes.
Will the Arbiter be more valuable than the Raven in this scenario? Certainly, there is an appeal.
I love the Raven in any I think it's essential to have a Raven, especially with radar. I just think Raven is a must in any in-house.
It's certainly a very strong ship. I mean, especially if it doesn't get picked off in the mid game, right? It's usually right around like. I feel like it's actually the biggest risk is right around like the 12 or 13 minute mark, where if it gets picked, it's usually right in there, because that's where. Like, in the 5-minute mark, it's hard to pick the Raven because the speed difference, that initial speed bump, is still too severe. But around the 12-minute mark, like, you can just get that extra speed up, and if they have been staying out for a while, right, that sometimes is your window of opportunity.
Yep. He's got EMP. I think who's he after? I mean, who would do EMP
probably
now?
the Arbor, maybe even here you'd think the Colossus, just to actually do the shield damage. But I feel like with Raven Imp, you know, a lot of the time it's, you just try to land it on 2 ships, right? Like, you're not looking for a specific target, you're looking for 2 ships out of position, just so that you can drain twice the energy.
That was a good EMP. He got Jimber with an EMP. That was a very good EMP.
And then you did the shield damage to Dreamer, and even though Dreamer doesn't have a spell, get as much value as possible out of it. And here we have the Torp, probably going to get canceled. Oh, no, it goes off. KENNETH comes out with that Torp trying to really get a threat in Firstruggle. I mean, that Firstruggle would take full damage right now. He doesn't have hull at the moment. So that could have been really bad if it landed.
Yeah.
Or good, depending on which team you're looking at the perspective from.
I've read some document I think Jay created, and he doesn't recommend getting Torp on first back. Yeah, what do you think of that? Getting Torp on first back, or just get range missiles? I personally would just go range missiles. I'll get Torp maybe the second time back.
Yeah, so we have first. I was looking at some.
JJ's got a repair box this time. No, you had it last game with someone else who was Destro on the other team.
Yeah, so we got the lockdown coming out. We got the 425 energy with the normal plague. JJBeast with the bots. RLK with 400 energy and the normal imp. Yeah, Critter with the siphon. And Jimber's flooding 250. Dreamer's at 5 rockets.
He's got extra range 10.
Yeah. Huh. Cris is floating 500 minerals, so he needs to get back. He's going to have a hard time tanking. DarkUncle trying to get... Actually, I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't have the energy for a feedback, so I guess he's just trying to get some food. Just trying to get them little shipsies so he can get a little bit better ups when he goes back. And here comes another Torp. That gets cancelled. Not surprising there. It wasn't really hitting anything.
So it's more of a deterrent, this cancel talk.
Yeah. That one was not cancelled. It looked like he thought it was going to land on Firstruggle. Or he didn't cancel it correctly, either way. But yeah, they're going to try to hold these Tempests so they can actually get a little bit of battle station damage. Of course, I think most of the time you just don't really expect the battle station to go down here, right? Like, you want to get the damage just so that you can threaten something, but you almost never actually get the power.
What about the farm lead? It's about 200 difference to the blue.
Yeah, and I feel like with a 200 difference, you usually just assume it's going to basically evenize as soon as the red team comes out. But they're actually taking the cloud at the moment. They could be trying to hold here a little bit longer. KENNETH has his Rip Wave again. Dreamer with no abilities, just the range and the rockets. Jimber with the Siphon now. DarkUncle picked up Boost. I think KENNETH just got imped, so no more Torp for the moment. JJBeast is going to be taking some damage here, but he's not going down very quickly. Actually, if anything, RLK is more threatened here, but he's going to be okay too. All right, so it looks like this is going to maybe stabilize for the moment while blue team goes back. I did get a message from Helveticano just explaining a little bit more of the reward structure here. So all participants receive the Medevac and Raven skins. First place gets a gold star, new colors, and the tournament champ battlecruiser. And each winner on the winning team gets $50 each. Then the second place team gets a silver star and headlight battlecruiser and $25 each.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm asking him to clarify how the top teams are determined on who goes into the finals, but I haven't heard back from him yet on that. So if the stream ever stops playing the in-game sound, that's because I'm checking messages. All right. So now we have the push out. Blue team taking the... Will KENNETH cancel? Yes, KENNETH cancels. So, if you're RLK, what do you think the next thing he's going to get is? I guess we should actually check. Alright, let's go to RLK perspective. And yeah, he's picked up radar, of course. And so that is one thing, right, is that now red team this game cannot get radar. And they also don't have a battlecruiser, so they really have just no way of checking for warp tricks.
Exactly.
Do you feel like that's an oversight for the red team, or do you think that they just plan to...
Yeah, they always do. Oh, the red team, yeah. I don't think they take Raven. I mean, I've talked with Graveyard about Raven, and he always includes the Raven in the formation now, I've noticed in that team. And I think, yeah.
And that Torp goes off. It hits JJBeast just as shield damage, of course. Still a nice way to soften them up. But they do have the Arb, right? And so now Dreamer has also picked up Torp, right? So they're right now, it looks like they're really playing around boosted double Torp, right? That is their win condition. And that's why they don't have the Battlecruiser or the Raven, right? Is that they're planning to play a very aggressive composition that is going to get picks. Really, this is like the time they want the picks. And they're going to get a lot of damage on JJBeast right here. He's down to 3,500. Critterbegon is down to 4,800. Firstruggle down to 5,500. But it looks like JJBeast is at the most at risk here, but they just can't get enough fire on him at the moment. Firstruggle trying to take some of the fire here. And it looks like they're going to get a clear extraction. That this actually could be really bad for the red team, right? Like, later on they can get Stasis Torp, but missing this wave of Torps, I mean, both Torps landed, but they didn't get a kill. So this is a really big opportunity cost for them, right? Like, now blue team knows, I mean, they could tell from the comp before, but now they know all the Torps are down. So really, once they're healed up, they can push out pretty heavily here because the Torps is 800 of their upgrade so far. That means the rocket power is going to be much less of a problem.
First is coming down below here. What's happening here?
It looks he's probably just picking up the side farm, I would think. I mean, he's going to threaten if he can, but I don't think he's committing right now. But yeah, I guess for red team, they actually already have Torps up again, so as soon as they get back and spend their upgrades, they're going to be able to come out and, you know, do the double Torp chrono boost aggression again.
Did you see JJBeast is still at 151?
Yeah, he's got the protective field, the bots, and the charges. He basically just plans to take the damage. It's kind of interesting he does that with no armor. Like, usually I would pick up, at least one, I would pick up another speed up at some point here.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Bloodhound going heavy armor again. Again, no bots, right? Like, it seems like he plays around, playing a very tanky build that doesn't really plan to sustain very long, just go out and then come back with the team, right? I think there can be a logic there. KENNETH actually unleashes the Torp, but it misses. So that's going to be one of the two Torps down now. Dreamer coming out. He uses his afterburners to try to get up here. He has the boost on him from the ARB, but he's not sending out the Torp quite yet. And it can be kind of hard here, right? Because the blue team now knows what's coming. They're going to try to be as careful as they can. They do get a Torp land on JJBeast again. But again, it's, you know, the first Torp is just going to be pure shield damage for the most part. So even though they landed the Torp, it's pretty hard to actually make a solid push afterward. They're lacking a little bit of the follow-through.
Blood's coming in.
Yeah, Blood's coming in, but he doesn't have charges, and he doesn't have gaps. So he mostly just soaks damage for the rest of his team. So blue team didn't really hold their push here very long, even after the Torps, right? They're like, I almost feel like blue team could be a little more aggressive here, but they did get a nice little amount of farm, so I guess they just want their next range set of upgrades. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we got DeVIlla with a nuke.
Oh wow, yeah.
We got RLK coming out with Matrix. Critter is coming out with Psionic Shockwave. And Graveyard is coming out with 1485 Psyblast. Bloodhound getting boosted back. Red team is a little bit nervous now, so they're going to go heal up and spend their upgrades. Everyone's a little bit on fire, but that's fine. This is fine. So just a nice even push here, and this is turning out to be a pretty good second game. Going to be a few Psyblasts on Bloodhound, but he's not really in much danger. Alright, so Dreamer has spent his money. KENNETH is coming out already, going to drop his Torp. Actually going to land it on Firstruggle, just get some shield damage in again. Dreamer coming out, also going to get it on Firstruggle. Still, it's on the Dread. The Dread takes 25% less damage from the Torps once they have the hull upgrade, so it ends up only being 4,500 damage. So basically, they did the shield damage, and then they did, I mean, it ultimately ended up only being 2,500 damage. I feel like that's not as much as it should have been for two Torps, but...
You think that they should be saving the Torp for a kill, or...?
Not necessarily, but I mean, if you could land it on anything else, right? You want to land it on anything other than the Dread, if at all possible. When you think about it, you're at that. If you're landing it on a Torp, you're basically doing the equivalent damage of like 2 Yamatos, right? To like any other ship. It's just not enough damage for the push and the threat that you want. Still, it does, you know, it prevents them from being stuck in the base all day, right? I mean, it's preventing the blue team from getting a really bad farm lead. Like, they're up right now, but it's not game losing amount of difference. Firstruggle is going to take some engagement from Cris in the bottom, but this doesn't look too bad yet. Plague's coming in. Jimber does have the upgraded Plague. Does everyone just have the upgraded Plague? Yeah, everyone has upgraded Plague now. RLK has the upgraded Imp. Firstruggle. Look, thank you. Yeah, we got a Warp Trick coming in, taking advantage of the lack of a battlecruiser or Raven. I mean, if there's going to be a big play here, it's going to be here. DeVIlla coming in with the nuke. Battlecruiser nuke, and actually DarkUncle is already on fire. He's at 1 HP. He's only at 3,000 shields. Torp lands on JJBeast. Nuke is landing on Bloodhound. Bloodhound is going to get locked down as a result of the nuke landing. He is down to 2,000 HP. He is almost certainly going to die here. Torp coming in to cut off the attack. Oh, it gets cancelled. Emergency shields pop, but he still doesn't have the energy for protective field. Bloodhound goes down. Torp is going to land on Firstruggle. Firstruggle is down to 4,800. But they are a little bit lacking the sustained damage here.
Colo, what about Colo? Oh, Colo has...
Colo is at 1 life and 6,000 shields. The Plagues have really softened them up quite well for this this warp trick. No threat on the Arbiter, but picking off the Dreadnought is still going to be... means it's going to be really hard for Red Team to push again. They're lacking a lot of their damage absorption. And Dreamer is actually a little bit dangerous here. And Blue Team, I mean, they've lost some energy, they've lost some shields, but they've taken very little hull damage from this pick.
And they can farm it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is
18 missiles. 18 missiles. I'd be looking at that if I was their RLK. Let's see how much Dreamer's got. He's 8 missiles, so...
I mean, ultimately, Red Team still has all the ingredients of their main plan, right? Their main plan being the Torp Chrono Boost, right? DarkUncle still has not picked up Stasis, so they don't have that yet, but they... You know, it is 12-second cooldown on Chrono Boost. 525 energy, so he can boost pretty consistently at this point. And so all they have to do is, you know, if they can actually get some Torps landing on one of the Overlords at some point, they can still get a pick, right? This game is not over by any stretch.
No, it's not over, no. Definitely not.
And I'd say they're not in as bad of a position as they were when the Raven died last game. Ooh.
No, yeah.
Torp gets cancelled. Critter is going to take a Psy Blast, but is going to dodge the Torps. And he should be okay here. Plague landing on KENNETH. Dreamer's Torp is down. And so KENNETH is going to try to get his... KENNETH can still land his Torp, but we got another Warp Trick coming in from the bottom. Same angle as before. Firstruggle coming in. DeVIlla warps in. He has the nuke up and ready again. But they're going to see it because the creeps are here.
They're going to go for Overlord.
Yeah, the Overlord would be the 0.82 speed. DarkUncle is at 0.9. So if they're going to get something, it's going to be the Overlord. But it's going to be hard to catch up quite correctly here. Torp goes off. KENNETH's Torp is now down. Dreamer's Torp is down, so there's no Torps left. Jimber does not have Shockwave. Critter Shockwave is down. So there's no specials up other than DeVilla's nuke right now. Ooh. Actually, looking at Jimber, he was below 6,000. He was pretty close to DeVIlla for a second there.
Yeah.
KENNETH a little bit low on HP. has to rely on his 11 range to try to deal damage.
Critter's almost got 2,000 on Side Blast. And same as Brave.
Yeah, the damage of the Overlords is really starting to pick up here.
Well, Jimber's got 2 and a bit, 2,200 damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Range 13, range 13, range 13. All the Overlords are 13 range on Side Blast.
14 on Jimber. Oh, is that 14? Am I reading? Ah, okay.
No, they all have the same range.
Okay.
You can check the Mutas too. The Mutas will also be the same. Ooh, Torp lands and first splashes the shields of JJBeast and RLK. Side Blast is coming in. That actually means Critter... Oh yeah, Critter manages to pull away. And so this should be a pretty clear extraction here. KENNETH does not have his Torp up quite yet. Dreamer is still very far on his Torp. Graveyard dropping a Plague there, a little bit dangerous. And they're watching now for Firstruggle. Jimber is going to come in, and actually he's gonna interrupt the warp here on Firstruggle.
They're cutting across. They're gonna cut across.
This could be a really important engage for a red team. If they can get a pick here, that would be very significant. DarkUncle unfortunately does not have stasis. Stasis here would be extremely significant.
Oh yeah, stasis would be dead. But they could still get a kill. Cancel? Yeah, that was a cancel.
Warp in from DeVIlla. Nuke is off on DarkUncle. It's pretty far. Torp is not canceled, lands on DeVIlla. Firstruggle is trying to get in on DarkUncle, but he's down to 3,000 life. He's going to have to pull back. He's down to 1,000 life. They can't quite turn, though. They're a little bit too soft. JJBeast is now on Dreamer. JJBeast is now on Cris. Cris is at 4,000 life. He's getting shields from DarkUncle, but DarkUncle can't stay very safely either. DeVIlla... Cris goes down. And this is looking very dire now for the red team. They still have their combo, but they don't have any tanks. They don't have the sustained damage to actually really finish anything off here. It's going to be really hard to get back in this game at this point. I mean, I'm inclined to say the game isn't over, but this is pretty bad.
Yeah, not looking good.
DarkUncle still hasn't managed to get the farm to get stasis. He's down to, 14-second cooldown on Chrono, 575 energy. KENNETH is 18 rockets with 11 range. Dreamer, 13 rockets with 10 range. Jimber still on the 2260 for the Side Blast.
They're relying on missiles to get a kill on the frigate's missiles.
Yeah, and that requires being able to kite. That's pretty tricky. RLK does now have Blackout, which means
got 11 range.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough situation. The Graveyard coming out with 27 on his Side Blast. Critterbegon coming out with 19 still, but he's up to 600 energy. Graveyard also has 600 energy, so there's a lot of energy and a lot of damage on those Side Blasts now. There is a warp in on Firstruggle on the bottom. Just Critterbegon, it looks like. So they're not threatening a kill here, but really this is the point where blue team is likely to push in and hold a push, right? Like that would kind of be what you'd expect.
Yeah, maintain the farm lead. They're gonna kill them. I don't know. I don't see it. Not with what they've got. Not against those two tanks now.
And maybe if they had stasis earlier.
Oh
wow! Jimber stalled, and I mean, Critter got siphoned, but Graveyard gets the pick, and this is looking. Well, I mean, JJBeast is a little bit low, but this looks pretty over.
Yeah. That just stops Ken from pushing.
So that should be now 2 for JJBeast, which is the best of 3 format. So that will be then taking us to round 2 as soon as this game is finalized. And there is the GG. So round 1 has finished for this pool. There is, of course, that is a round robin format, so there is a simultaneous game going on. Let's see. I mean, check. Lucky Devil. Yeah, they're in a lobby for 4 minutes, so it looks like we might even be able to get into that game. Are you going to be done after this game, or you want to do one more?
I don't mind watching that. Actually, watching them. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's see if we can actually get in and get to that other lobby.
Can they finish this?
Oh, I mean the GG is set, so the game is over. We don't.
Do we just leave? Yep. Okay.
I mean, usually if there's nothing else going on, then I would stay for the fun match after, as things are ending up. But since I can get in here and actually get into this other lobby, I would like to do so.
Okay.